Hey, it's Erin, EW Wellness Solutions, and we're talking siblings today. Most of us have them, and no one can bug us like our siblings, right? No one can just do. And yet, no one can complain about them but us. It's a kind of a funny dynamic, right? So, my personal experience with siblings would have to have started when my mom brought home my brother from the hospital when I was 3.5. I have very clear memories of that day. Not a good day. I didn't really see the need, how firstborn children can be with that sort of thing. By the way, today all the music was provided by bands who have siblings. So Jackson 5, 5 brothers. The girls weren't invited to that one. So Adam and I grew up together, fighting over the back seat, who crossed the line, whose turn is it to sit in the front. We'd get in these wars over if mom stopped twice, whose turn was it. If you had a sibling close in age, you can imagine how it went. So that was my experience with siblings. And then when I was 16 and a half, my brother Nathan was born. So Nathan isn't a sibling in the sense that we grew up together and we were fighting and mom. We didn't have any of that stuff. He was just like the cute little kid that was around, and I decided it was funny to dress him like a pumpkin and take him to McDonald's and stuff because I was in college and it was fun. So not the sister-brother, relationship. So then when I had kids, and in a strange turn of events, my daughter, who's older, and my son have almost the exact same spacing as my brother Adam and I, to the point where my brother and my son are exactly like 30 years and 4 days apart or something crazy. It's very odd how that worked out. So when I see it now, the parallels and also the perspective has totally changed. Because when I was growing up, I thought as the big sister, I knew everything. And now I'm like, God, I was really bossy. And yet my son, as the second, that kid's got a ledger of everything Moira gets to do when she gets to do it, on and on and on and on. However, second kids typically, he doesn't really have a baby book because I was really tired. There's way less, professionally taking pictures of him in the house. The usual second kid stuff. Those of you that have 3 and 4 kids, I don't even know how that must go. Because just having 2, the difference of my effort and just energy was so, you can't even compare. And when you have a bunch of kids, it's just got to be a completely different situation. But let's face it, siblings can make us crazy, but no one can say anything bad about them but us. It's a very different relationship than we have with other people. And when we grow up, the relationship can change in a good way or a bad way. Some of my friends who have sisters, they will brawl, bad news. One of my girlfriends, her sister knocked her teeth out once. My friend got new teeth. But, these can be crazy fights. Other sisters lock each other in the bathroom, crazy, crazy stuff. But when it hits the fan, no one's there for you like your sibling, right? And the bond between your siblings is something very, very strong. And even though you went 20 rounds when you were kids over whose turn it was or if you were mom's favorite or whatever, that doesn't mean that as adults there isn't that unbreakable connection. And when we get older and we get married and we have our own lives and everyone changes and on and on and on, it's kind of nice to just take a minute and acknowledge the love we have for our siblings, because it can kind of lost in the shuffle with the kids and the pets and the jobs and on and on and on. So when I decided I was going to spend a big chunk of February talking about other types of love besides romantic love, because so much of February and Valentine's Day is all about like the red roses and reminds me of an episode of The Bachelor. I wanted to take the focus off and put on other types of love, which are equally as important to our overall lives, right? New Kids on the Block. I think they're Jonathan and whatever his face was were brothers. Donnie Wahlberg related to Mark Wahlberg, not in the New Kids Block. Anyway, back to my point. So I think it's really important when we talk about love in general, we don't just focus on if we're dating someone, because our brothers and sisters can make our lives just as rewarding, sometimes in a way better way than who we're dating. That's sort of a crazy romantic thing, because romantic relationships come and go. But someone that you grew up with, your brother, your sister, who, just with one look, you know exactly what they're thinking. That's why the show This Is Us, I think, is so popular. Well, one of the many reasons. Because you can just see the relationship with all the kids and the looks and the infighting and your mom's favorite, and they're like 37 years old. But that's how siblings roll sometimes. I mean, they're screaming at each other, and 10 minutes later they're hugging, even though they're in their late 30s. Makes complete sense to me. That's how it goes. So as we get closer to Valentine's Day and things get more and more lovey-lovey, just spend a little time, maybe call up your brother or sister today and say, hey, thinking about you. Have a really good day, you guys. And tomorrow we're talking about our parents. I know. The ones that gives us the siblings. Don't worry, it won't be gross. All right, bye.